Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hot Mess Podcast. I am your host, John Fay, with Allison Silbowski and Jordan Ezel. We are a podcast by students for students. We are all students at Temple University in the communications field, and this podcast is to give you some news throughout the world and throughout the country every week, some fun news, some serious news, and we also want to give you some career advice from people who have worked internships and jobs in our field, and we just want to be able to give people advice as much as we can. We're all still learning here, so we want to talk about uh, trying to find jobs, trying to better yourself as a student and as somebody looking for a career as time goes on. And this is our Christmas episode, so we're all decked out. I got elf ears today. We got a lot going on this week, including the Great Conjunction, which I'm going to pass this off to Allie because she knows a little more about this one.
As many of you may know,
Yeah,
Wednesday,
go in
Tuesday.
here, guys.
When did this happen? Tuesday. Sorry, I just blanked. But let me start over. The Great Conjunction happens, and as many of you know, that's when Saturn and Jupiter was very close together. This actually happens every 20 years. It's just this year was special because they were so close that apparently if you put out your arm all the way, you could see them, your pinky. They were like in the space of your pinky. So that hasn't happened in close to, what was it, 400 years?
That's all 800.
So, okay. 400 years, it's when they were that close. 800 was when they were at night. So it was also extremely rare because not only were they so close and they were at night, but it was also winter solstice. So they were up for like longer because it was the shortest day of the year.
Right.
So overall, this is just like the Great Conjunction. Like it hasn't happened in 800 years. And no, it was a big deal. Like I saw people posting it everywhere. It's pretty cool. Did you guys go outside and see it?
Yeah. So it's funny because the first day that it happened, my grandmother's been reading about it, so we were gonna go check it out, and I think we missed it because it was supposed to be. I know we were supposed to see it at 4:30ish, but it was still light out, so we were thinking, no way, there's no way that it's that early. So then I read somewhere that it was at 7, and then I looked it up again. I said, yeah, Grandma, we definitely missed it. But on the plus note, it's supposed to be you're able to see it for the rest of December.
Yes.
We ended up being able to see it, but it was it's funny. We brought out binoculars, and for some reason the binoculars weren't working, but we were able to see it, and it was really cool.
That's so cool.
I'm not going to lie, I missed it. I've just been so busy with getting ready for Christmas that I completely forgot about it. So, but it's been cool reading about it. A lot of people have really been paying attention to stuff like this. It's really cool for people who pay attention to horoscopes and zodiac signs. And I thought that we could all talk about our signs for a little bit. Do one of you want to start off with it? With what your sign is?
You guys have the same.
Yeah.
Yes, me and Allison are both Aquarius.
Both Aquarius.
So, okay, my thing about my sign, so I'm a Leo, and Leos are supposed to be, always wanting the center of attention, and they're always very have to be the front stage of everything, and I don't feel that way about myself. Do you guys think that you are what your sign is?
Every time I read something about an Aquarius, I do feel like it's pretty compatible. Like,
Yeah.
from my understanding, it's like pretty artistic people, kind of thinking outside the box. Growing up, I always felt like I was like thinking about things, just like life in general, or how to go about things like a lot differently than other people I was around.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't take myself seriously with these elf ears right now. But yeah, every time I read something about Aquarius, I think that there is some validity to to horoscopes and zodiac signs. I know some people are just like, no, I don't listen to that stuff. It's like that. Life's too interesting to not at least like take a look at something like that. And every time I read something about it, I find something that I find about myself.
If anyone says that they haven't looked up their zodiac sign, they're lying.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone, like, you have to.
There's no
I
way
think
you're.
it's just like, it's also like something fun to do. I love looking at like, they have those like Instagram accounts where it's just like the random stuff, and they're like, this is what this zodiac sign like, their favorite food is. And I love like looking at those things. I think they're just fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was always the I don't know, John. I mean, we're the same sign, so I don't know if like you felt this, but whenever someone mentions zodiac signs, Aquarius is always like never on there. It's like I feel like they never talk about Aquariuses, and I'm just like, hello. But apparently, there's a reason for that. There's like the list in order of like what sign, and Aquarius
Yeah.
is like second to last, so that's why they never mention it.
Okay.
That's why it's always like, Cancers or Libras or Virgos, because they're at the top of the list, while Aquarius or Pisces or Capricorn is more at the bottom of the list.
I'm not gonna lie. I think that a lot of people give preferential treatment to their zodiac sign, but I've always felt like Aquarius was like the most like cool, outgoing one. Like I always think like Age of Aquarius. I'm just like, we're the best, Team Aquarius. I was actually just reading last night because we were somebody in my house was talking about. I think it had to do with the Great Conjunction. We were talking about zodiac signs, and I was just like, huh, I wonder. I looked up like who Aquariuses are most compatible with, like for partners, and the first one that came up on a lot of pages was Aries, and my girlfriend is an Aries, so I was just like, oh, there's some validity to this.
What month range is Aries? Do you know?
April, I think, because
Okay.
she was born in April. So yeah, I think they're like April 2nd to April 19th or something. I don't know how when they cut it off at a certain point.
Yeah, that's funny that you mentioned that, because I remember when I was in high school, if I had a crush on a guy or something, I would always look up what their sign was and see if it was
All the time.
compatible with a Leo. I was like, oh well, not compatible, not for me.
I did that so much in high school. Gosh.
Yeah, it was my one thing, my one real test. When really, I mean, maybe that's not the end all be all, but in high school, that's what it was.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. So going back to the Great Conjunction, if you're very into like astrology and everything, this was actually like more of a big deal than just like the planets were very close. So actually, since this hasn't happened in like close to 800 years, 400 years, it's like it symbolizes like a very specific thing. So um, Jupiter actually I'm sorry, can't talk.
Signifies.
There we go. Signifies
There we
like
go.
growth and expansion and just like good things, while Saturn signifies like limitations and structures and containment. So since they're so close, they kind of has like a life and death they compare it to. So it's like the good and then the bad. And the last time that this was like a thing was during like the rise and fall of the Alexander the Great Empire, or like the Black Plague in Europe. Genghis Khan, his whole realm and stuff. So like things like that was like during these times. So people are saying like, what's this year gonna be? And I saw that one of them was like technology and like the World Wide Web. How we just finished the Jupiter phase of like, the expansion, and like things have gone like so, had gone so far with the internet. But now we're in the Saturn part where things are going to start to like slow down, and it's going to get more like harder to kind of expand on things because we're so far now.
Yeah.
So that's what astrologists are saying. Like that's just one thing that they're saying, that this great conjunction is kind of like I'm sorry, I can't talk.
Signifying, yeah.
There we go.
It's kind of like that expression that people say, like peaks and valleys. Like we're kind of at a peak as a civilization right now.
Yeah.
And as a human species, I mean, we're more technologically advanced than we ever have been. And I feel like if you look back at ancient civilizations, like great example that I think of is like ancient Egypt. Like they had like all kinds of tools and things that you used back then. Like they were like really modern compared to other civilizations around the world, and they eventually vanished. So, not saying we're going to, but you know, it's Merry Christmas.
Okay, well, John, the thing with that is,
Yeah.
that was just like Egypt. So
Yeah.
they vanished, and it's like, all right, well, you still got the whole other world.
Yeah.
Right now, the whole world is at this peak.
Yeah.
Are we all just gonna vanish now?
I'm just waiting for the aliens.
Oh my God, they're coming. My
They'll be like one of us.
my friend, I was talking to her the other day, and she said that she was in a parking lot like a few days ago, and she looked up and saw like a green disc in the sky, and then it like was flying around, and then it just like vanished like really really fast, and I was like, dude, did you just see an alien? So she might have seen aliens. I don't know.
I feel like alien sightings are becoming more common now. Like I feel like I'm hearing more stories about it.
And they're all the same when people talk about them. You know, they say that it's whatever they saw was hovering, or and then it was just, you know, gone in seconds.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Maybe they're observing. They want to see what happens. Then they know what's going on here. So they're like
They know
they're
that
checking us out. Like
They're probably laughing at our entire world right now.
Oh,
yeah.
probably. They're like partying it up on their planet while we're stuck in a pandemic and not listening.
Learning from our mistakes.
Oh my gosh. Well, they probably don't want to invade us until COVID's gone. So
Yeah.
That's nice.
I'm
And
waiting.
the invasion would honestly be the cherry on top of 2020, though.
yeah, I mean, we still have a few weeks.
It's true.
Oh my God, wait, something I read about, just like about 2020 and everything. Apparently there's a disease X. I forgot where they said it was. It's like it's a different country. Maybe a country in like Africa or something, but this lady's getting tested for Ebola, and if it's not Ebola, they're calling it disease X. I mean, okay, I saw this on TikTok last night at like 2 a.m. So who knows how
Okay.
accurate it actually is. But I was like, is this the start of another pandemic? Like disease X? Or I guess epidemic, maybe? I don't know if it'll turn into a pandemic, but
God, I hope not.
No more pandemics for a while.
I hope not in our lifetime, no more pandemics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pandemiced out.
Yeah. I'm good. I don't need it anymore.
Yeah, I didn't need to experience the first one, let alone a second.
Mhm.
Yeah. I find stuff like the Great Conjunction interesting because I think we as humans are always trying to look for ways to like understand our world, and this is like a perfect example of it. Like it's something you can kind of interact with.
Yeah.
Where you know, like a lot of people will like some people are very religious, and to them that's how they connect to the world we live in, to the higher not to get all woo woo, but the higher consciousness, whatever people want to call it. But yeah, I mean, the zodiac stuff is very interesting. I mean, there's definitely validity to it when you read like stuff about your sign, and you're just like that's actually pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm the odd one out here, but I just don't think there are some things about my sign that I agree with, but then there are just some things that I don't agree with at all. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people have said that Leos are kind of standoffish and, for lack of better words, bitchy. And I just I don't know. I don't see that about myself. I don't think that I am. And I've had a lot of other friends that are Leos too that I don't really think that aligns with. So I don't know. It depends. Have you guys? Sorry, what were you saying?
Do you know if you're on like the cusp?
I'm the 18th, so I think that my sign is from the beginning of August till the 22nd. So I guess I'm kind of close to it.
So I think that might be like either a Libra or Virgo next.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you seem like you're on the cusp, so maybe you relate more to whichever is the next one.
Maybe I'll have to look in that. Have you guys ever did the Myers-Briggs personality test?
The what?
The Myers-Briggs personality test?
Yes, and I don't remember what the results.
Yeah, I feel like
I did it a
saw,
while ago.
but I don't.
I think that one's really accurate. So it's 100 or so question. It's a personality assessment. And when you're done taking the 100 questions, it tells you what type of, there's 16 personalities, and it'll tell you which type of personality type you fall into. And I'm an ENFJ, so extrovert, intuitive, ENF, feeling, and judgment. So there's different ones that you can be. And I was reading into that, and that one's actually pretty accurate, and it's even spot on with my career choice.
Really?
It says that an ENFJ would be really good at advertising. Is like, that's exactly what I wanted to go into. So you guys should definitely check that out if you haven't done that yet.
Wait, what is it called?
It's called Myers-Briggs.
Have to check that out.
Yeah.
For the next show, me and Allison will have done our Myers-Briggs test, and we will discuss the results.
Okay, good. Text me and tell me exactly what you guys get when you get it, because that I think is super accurate.
I'm going to do it right after the show, actually. I'm curious about it. I think I did it like a long time ago, and I just don't remember what it was. So I'm going to have to redo it.
I did it in a few psychology classes, and then one of my ex-boyfriends was big into it. So his was spot on. So I was like, okay, well, let me look into it too. And it's really, really accurate. And it tells you who you are, why you think the way that you think, which is really interesting because a lot of the stuff the way that I do things, I was like, oh, no one ever, no one else does this. But there are a whole other smell of people out there just like me who think the way that I do, who behave the way that I do, act the way that I do. And I was like, wow, it's really cool to know that you're not the only one.
It would make sense that it's so accurate because, like you said, it is 100 questions.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like something like astrology where it's just based on when you were born.
Right.
It actually like kind of analyzes you and like kind of takes your information and like, puts you in the group based on that.
Right. And I completely suggest doing it, do it full, honestly, the way you get the best, most accurate perception of yourself.
Definitely gonna do it. So
There's
stay tuned for our next episode.
Since we're talking about tests that you can kind of like determine what kind of person you are, I actually just recently took, if anybody's heard of this, called the political compass test. It's a series of, I want to say it was maybe 50 questions that determine if you're like unsure where you stand politically, like it'll give you a pretty accurate stance on it with like one of those charts where it's like four sides of, like liberal, conservative, and there's two other things. And I did it, and I was actually like pleasantly surprised with where I came out, because I think everybody like has like perception, like with the personality test. I think some people might be like surprised with where they are. It's not going to be exactly like, oh, I thought that. Like you'll look at the results and be like, oh wait, that actually makes more sense than I thought it would.
Right.
Like the political compass test, it said I'm like dead center libertarian, which I was like, okay, like that makes sense. But like I was expecting something else. But then I thought about it a little more. I was like, okay, that makes a little sense. So if anybody's looking for a cool test to do, the political compass test is also very interesting.
That is interesting. I'm actually kind of in the place where I don't know where I would fall politically.
Yeah.
I've kind of named myself undecided. I know what I believe in and what I don't agree with, but I don't fully know what each different party stands for. So I'm definitely gonna check that out. Thanks, John.
The results made sense to me because I'm very like, just let people do what they want to do. Kind of just don't interfere with what other people are doing. So it said you're like right in the middle of like libertarian, which is exactly what that is. And I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds like a good one.
Yeah. That's a cool test.
I'm excited to see what your guys' personalities are.
I know. It's gonna be fun next week to talk about.
I think I'm gonna do that right after we're done today.
Yes.
So I'll tell you ASAP.
And if you guys, if any of our viewers want to do it, you can DM us your results and we'll feature you in our show.
Yes.
Yeah, we can put the link to both of the tests in our bios for our YouTube and our Spotify.
Yes, absolutely. So as everybody can tell by our decorations, it is Christmas time. We're releasing the show on Christmas Day, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Where my voice yeah.
So we're all decked out in cool sweaters. If we want to show ours, I've got what was I going to say? Cheers to reindeers. It's got a reindeer with a mug of beer.
Got a little elf. I'm as short, and everyone has said that I've always worked in Santa's workshop anyway, so sweater was appropriate, and I'm the bestest under the tree.
I'm the odd one out. I don't have a Christmas sweater, but I got my Hanukkah sweater on. It's just a
Yes, happy
menorah.
holidays.
So we wanted to talk about like what we're I think what we're all going to be doing this Christmas, including Allison. Actually, let's start off with Allison because I know you're not celebrating Christmas, and we were discussing before the show what your family and what like people around you usually do. But what's that going to look like this year with COVID going on?
Yeah, so typically it's like the Jewish stereotype that like, oh, what do you do on Christmas because nothing's open? You get Chinese food and you go to the movies. I
Yep.
actually fall into that stereotype, and every year, my family and my family friends, we go to the movies and we get Chinese food. So it kind of became like our Christmas tradition, that we do either new Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, and it's just like something fun we do. We kind of call it like our Christmas dinner, but like it's not, it's Chinese food. Um, so this year though, sadly, as we know, movie theaters aren't open. So um we've been like they've been the ones that we've been seeing. So that's kind of like our quarantine group, like our family friends and then my family. So we're actually still gonna have like dinner this year. We'll probably like watch a Christmas movie, but we do that every year. We just like hang out with them and have like our Christmas dinner, I guess. It's just
Nice.
a dinner that we have. It's kind of fun. So that's what I do. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I always heard that. Like growing up, I had a lot of friends that were Jewish or they came from Jewish families, and that was always what I heard was Chinese food in the movies.
There's I don't know if you guys ever heard of the song. It goes like I eat Chinese food on Christmas. Go to the movie. And it's a fun song. It's called Chinese. I think it's called Chinese food on Christmas. I don't know. Look it up on YouTube.
I'm gonna have to look this one up.
It's actually a pretty good song. And it I think it's very accurate. You have like you have the guys, the Jewish guys with like the big gulps, and then they go into like the Jewish party, like oh Mazel Tov. I don't know. I am. But yeah, it's quite fun.
Very cool. What about you, Jordan? What are your plans this year?
Yeah, so I am coming from Maryland. My family, we used to live near Baltimore, but they moved to the Eastern Shore since when I was a sophomore in college. So I'm here now, and this week we have, my grandfather said this, he said, we're drowning in cookies, which is so true. My grandmother and I have been we made chocolate chip and walnut cookies, we made sugar cookies, and we've just been, hanging out, doing stuff like that. So that's pretty much the plan this year. I think that it's just going to be me, my grandmother, my grandfather, my dad, and then I believe my brother's coming. And something that every year we do, even as we were growing up, is each year somebody is Santa. So we have a Santa Claus hat, and that person, what we do is we each get a gift, and then we take turns opening it together, and then the Santa is the one that gives everyone out the gift. Every year, somehow it ends up being me, but and we never keep track of it. So this year, it's my brother. I don't care what anyone says; he's the one doing it. It's
You guys just like you guys
what?
just guess or like choose who is it, or is there like a system?
There used to be it's funny because when we were kids, we used to fight over who got to be it, and now that we're older, we fight over who isn't it. So I swear I've been Santa every single year. So I think that this year it's definitely my brother. It's gotta be. But my grandmother's been making some of my favorite meals while I'm home, which has been great. And then I think we're just having like a turkey dinner on Christmas. But it's really nice just being able to, I got tested before I came home because I didn't wanted to just make sure that I was good being around my grandparents. But I'm excited. It's gonna be nice. Just have a nice low key family day, just listening to Christmas music and spending time together.
Oh,
Very cool.
sounds fun.
What about you, John? What are you doing?
Every year it's busy. It's a lot of travel for me. So I'm in the Bucks County area, right outside of Philadelphia. Depending on traffic, it's like could be 30 minutes, could be 45 minutes to get into Philadelphia. So I'm not that far from the city, but my family's here, and my girlfriend's family is here. Usually I'm driving. I spend half the day with my family here, and then I drive down to Delaware to see her and her family. But this year she's staying all of her extended family lives 2 towns over, like 20 minutes away. So they're actually going to be celebrating Christmas in this area. So I only have to drive 20 minutes instead of like an hour and 15 like I do every year. So it's going to be a lot less driving this year, which I'm excited about. But every year, it's usually with her family mostly. We usually do a Christmas. We go to a Christmas Eve mass every year. Sometimes we do a Christmas Day mass. Um, and my family has this tradition. This comes from my dad's side of the family. He tells me that it was like a European thing where the kids would open up some of the gifts Christmas Eve, like Christmas, and then the rest is Christmas Day. So that's what we're doing. We open up like 1 or 2 gifts on Christmas Eve. It was like when I was growing up, it was always just like, look, Santa came, and then we would open up some of them, and then and then the rest of them the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, so you visited you early.
yeah, yep. Mm-hmm. Just been, and when I was growing up, I thought everybody did that, and then everybody was like, "No, we wait until Christmas morning." I was like, "What?" I thought this was it was my normal, so I assumed everybody else was doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that I feel like other people do that too, where at least you open one on Christmas.
I've heard that before, yeah.
Yeah, okay. But
Yeah,
when I was growing up, like nobody else was doing it. Nobody I knew was doing it, so it was like I was like he opens them up early. It was just like, no, it's just what we do. And yeah, I mean, other than that, um, yeah, we're gonna have dinner and everything. My mother makes literally like hundreds of these tiny cookies that she gives out to everybody. Which she's usually started by now, and she hasn't yet, so she's probably gonna be doing that tomorrow or later today. But she makes these. I don't know what they are. She calls them like butter cookies. They're almost like sugar cookies, but they're more like decadent.
Mm-hmm.
And they're these tiny little things. She usually has them in like she has this like little mold gun that she uses, and she just like presses them down on the cookie
Oh,
sheet,
that's cool.
and then she puts some sprinkles over them. And when I tell you, like, I'll bring that to my girlfriend's family, they're gone in like 20 minutes. Like everybody's just like, these are amazing. So yeah, that's usually what we do every year. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, and
holidays. Everyone has their own traditions and
yeah,
doing their own thing, but also kind of celebrating the same things at the same time too.
exactly. Yeah.
Just celebrate being with your family.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. I'm just so thankful that I'm able to be home this year because I know Allison, we both weren't able to go home for Thanksgiving. So I know that there's a lot of other people that aren't able to see their families. So I just want to say, to our listeners, if you are alone right now, I'm really sorry that you're not able to spend that time with your family. You're definitely not alone. Hopefully, maybe listening to this podcast will brighten up your day. But yeah, hopefully next year will be better and everyone can see each other again. Definitely take FaceTime is, it's not as good as being in person, but it's the second best thing.
There's hope at the end of the tunnel now.
Right.
Exactly.
There's hope that next year we'll be able to spend it all with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, I also should mention another thing that my family does after Christmas, sometimes the day after, sometimes 2 days after. We usually go to Long Island to see most of my family. So next week I'm probably going to be in Allie's area, probably right near her. And yeah, we see like my grandmother, my aunts and uncles, my 2 cousins, and we have like a mini Christmas with them as well. So we'll have like everybody gets like one gift from everybody else.
Oh my God, I have to tell you guys. So on Long Island, there's a beach called Jones Beach. It's like one of the big ones. Every year they do this like holiday light show. It's like a drive through. So you like pay $25 and you drive through with your car, just like look at all these lights, and there's like a channel on the radio to listen to. It's quite fun. And my friends and I, well, my one friend, we went on Saturday. And of course, we went the Saturday before Christmas. And we waited online for 4 hours to see a light show.
Jeez.
But we were on Ocean Parkway, so like we're on a highway, like in standstill traffic for 4 hours. So there's nowhere you can actually like get off. You're kind of stuck, or there's like a few places, but you're pretty much stuck online. And it was a time like I've never waited 4 hours to see a light show before. But just if you're going to see a light show this year, beware, you may be waiting for 4 hours. And make sure you go to the bathroom, have some water with you.
Especially because people are trying to figure out stuff to do, and that's a safe.
Yeah, that's a very safe one.
Yep.
I don't know why I didn't think that it would be super like packed, but it was.
So I live up, yeah, I'm in Bucks County. I live maybe like a 5-minute drive away from a place called Shady Brook Farms, which is kind of like people who visit Bucks County a lot of the time they'll go over there, especially
Yes,
in like the fall time because they
I've
do
heard of
like
it, yeah.
hay rides and things like that. Yeah, I'm like 5 minutes away from that, and when I tell you it is so congested with traffic there, like throughout the month of December every single year, especially like these last 2 weeks, it is ridiculous. Like this year they started implementing getting tickets ahead of time, and there's nothing open right now, so we're not. Yeah, usually my family tries to go every year, but this year we might not be able to because everybody this year, like you said, it's a safe thing to do. So just everybody's going to it, and it's like literally is next to the Newtown bypass, and it is just like congested with traffic trying to make the right turn to go in there. It's just lines and lines and lines of cars.
Oh, jeez.
And it's not even that long of a ride. Like if you're going through it, it's maybe 10-15 minutes of light show.
Yeah, that's how it was, like 20-25 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
But like
Well,
it's something to do, and at the end of the day, like it's just something
yeah.
to do. It's fun and it's safe.
Yep. Exactly. And we did take a poll on I think we were going to mention this the last show, but we did a poll on where people are doing their Christmas shopping this year, and I wanted to pass that off to Jordan to talk about the results.
Yeah, so I actually don't have the results pulled up. I know Allison does, but basically the
Sorry.
reason that we need to have this poll was just because of COVID and how people are shopping this year. I know that a lot of people have been doing online shopping. Personally, I did my shopping in person, just because Five Below is my best friend, and I can tend to find everything that I need for literally anyone there. So just kind of did a one-stop shop, got everything that I needed in one go. Yeah, and Allie, do you have the poll? You have the
Yeah,
results.
so 69% of you said you were doing online shopping, and 31% of you said you were doing your in-person shopping. So thank you to everyone who participated in our poll.
Yes, we love our Instagram followers and when they participate.
I think this year is an acceptable year to have it be mostly online shopping. Just
Yeah.
out of the convenience of it, people don't really want to go out.
Yeah.
So I get that. I'm sure Amazon made a ton of money. Not that they need more, but they made a ton more money this year, more than they usually would around the holidays.
It's I was talking to my grandmother the other day and she told me that one of the Amazon trucks got robbed and got all of their packages stolen from that way. So, I mean, there's a pro and a con to each option.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Anyone who's going to steal Amazon packages around like the holiday time, y'all just aren't nice. I mean,
You're
don't
stealing
be
joy.
Grinch. Like they're real life Grinches. You're stealing gifts that people are trying to give to other people. Like, don't do that. It's just messed up, man. Messed up.
Another thing is I know that a lot of people that ordered stuff online are kind of getting impatient or curious of where their packages are, but all of the UPS and Amazon and a few others, maybe not so much Amazon, but have cut back on their employees. So there's a mass overload of shipping and packages being delivered and all that, but they're not getting delivered just because of the timing, and people might not be getting stuff on time too.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess just, be patient if you have ordered something and it hasn't come yet. It sucks that it might not come on the exact day that you need it, but at least it's the thought that counts and everyone's trying their hardest to get everything out.
Yeah, exactly. What did you guys do for your shopping? Let's talk about what we all did.
Yeah, so I said I did in person.
Mm-hmm.
I did mostly online. I did Amazon. It was just the easiest and the fastest for me. I did Amazon.
Mm-hmm. I did kind of half and half. I did like half my gifts Amazon, like the ones I reserved it for the ones that it would just be easier to have shipped to my house, like kind of like the bigger gifts, and everything else I try to do in person from small shops around my area.
That's why I can get packages sent to my apartment.
Yeah.
It's always a scary thing.
Right. So I was like, well, if I go out and shop in person, at least I know for a fact nothing will get taken and I'll definitely have what I need.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, crazy time.
Very.
Crazy time. Yeah. So it's a different Christmas this year. It's a different holiday season altogether. But I think people are making the most of it.
I think
You
so.
know, me and Jordan can still wear funny hats, and Allison can have her Hanukkah sweater, which is personally my favorite out of all of ours, just because it's so.
I used to have one that lit up, so for like the different
Cute.
candles.
Yeah.
But I don't actually know where that is. So this is my Hanukkah sweater.
Yeah, it'd be cool if these little light bulbs lit up. Oh, yeah. That would have
Oh
been neat.
yeah, that would have been cool.
Five Below purchase.
Love that.
I was telling you guys before the show, I have a giant head, so like this hat is like so tight on my head right now.
Well, we appreciate you going through the pain
Yes,
for the hat.
it's the holiday season. So now we're switching our topics a little bit, and I'm really just passing this off to you two because I'm clueless about this. The Bachelorette, it ended.
Mm-hmm.
So the
Okay, so
season finale was last night.
series finales. Yes, so take it away. I'm gonna sit here and just listen because I don't pay attention to this at all.
All right, John, we're definitely having you watch Matt James' season of The Bachelor. That way you can
I will.
add your input in. So January 4th, mark your calendar.
The Bachelor is coming back.
The Bachelor's coming back.
All right, let's talk about Tayshia.
All right, first off, I just want to reflect on this season because Claire's part of the season seems literally 12 years ago.
Yeah.
It seems so long ago since that happened. So if anyone who doesn't watch the show, they had a bachelorette on. She ended up falling in love with a guy in 2 minutes. And then they got rid of her and replaced her with Tayshia, who was the bachelorette for the rest of the time. And it was a really good ending, I thought. It was really cute. She ended up with Zach Clark.
Yes. He's from around the Philly area. He's from Haddonfield, New Jersey, which I think is only maybe like an hour or even less than from Philly. So he's from like our surrounding area, and they seem really cute together.
They do. It's always kind of a question of, is it really possible to find true love on a reality TV show? But I mean, it's happened in the past, so yes.
I have a lot of respect for Tayshia and how she kind of ended her season.
I agree.
Like she didn't just something that she did that most of the other contestants, bachelors or bachelorettes, don't do. She kind of like pulled them aside. Didn't really like. She didn't do like a rose ceremony or anything like truly. She like pulled them aside to like break up with them, which I thought was a lot more humane.
Respectful.
Respectful, yeah.
Yeah. I thought all of especially the way that the guys handled being broken up with was really cool too.
Yeah.
Especially Ivan.
Yeah.
Apparently they broke up just because they weren't on the same page, I guess, with their religious beliefs. But
it's a logical thing to break up for.
Right. That's definitely something you're thinking along, long term. And he ended up just saying, I did think that this might be something that would cause our relationship to end. I respect this decision. I see where you're coming from. Wish you the best. I was like, wow, yes. So we
I mean, that's always, and I feel like when you get down to the final few people, you kind of dwindle out those who kind of are there to like cause the drama, like the producers have to like cause the drama and everything. I feel like when you dwindle down to like the top 4, they're like the genuine people. And they genuinely are like the respectful ones and they want the best.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I thought that she could have ended up with any 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the one season I think I've been able to say that, as I like all of her top picks.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So I'm happy for her. I'm happy for them. I'm sure that the other guys will find love too. They're all super hot, so guarantee you it can't be that hard.
Honestly, and I know Ben, he captured my heart of Ben. I understand though why she didn't choose him in the end of the day, but but I know there's a bunch of people who are like, I want Ben, so I'm sure he'll get some girls now.
Yeah, he'll be all right. They will all find someone, I'm
Oh
sure.
yeah, they will all be okay. And we'll see. Maybe we'll see some of them in Bachelor in Paradise, or even as the Bachelor in a season.
Yeah.
Because that's how Tayshia started. She was actually in Peter's. She was a contestant in Peter's
She was
season.
on Colton season.
She was Colton?
Yeah. Yeah, she was long ago, and then she went on Paradise.
Okay, all right. So she was Colton. Wow.
I know too much about this stuff. It's a problem.
I didn't think she was like that, because Colton was like my freshman year, maybe. I don't even know. 2019, was it?
Yeah, I think it was Colton then Peter.
Okay, yeah. So she was a contestant on Colton season, and then she went to Paradise, Bachelor in Paradise, and then she was Bachelorette. Love Tayshia, great girl.
Yeah.
Super
Happy for her. I don't know if you listen to spoilers. I'm very big on Reality Steve. I love him. And this is the one season where he didn't actually really spoil it until about an hour before the show. Well, I mean, I get it. It's hard, especially with it them being in a bubble. I'm sure information just isn't getting out as much as it usually does. Because usually when they're traveling the world and going to places, other people will see their dates, and normal regular people will take pictures of it and spoil it for him that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, Matt James' season should be interesting. He's actually never been on this franchise before, which is cool.
That's weird though, that because typically they don't choose like a bachelor or bachelorette. You have to like have been a contestant or been on Paradise before you're like one of the main ones. So that's a little interesting that they're doing that.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how that goes down, because he said he's never been in love before. I said, "Oh boy, you're in for it."
So he decides the Bachelor is going to be his first shot at. I don't know. That's going to be an interesting one, but
John, you're definitely gonna have to watch it. I can't wait to hear your 2 cents about it.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah,
I'm not much of a I really don't follow TV series anymore. I'm really out of the loop with most TV shows, so I will definitely have this be the beginning of my watching a series.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because this show could go either way.
yeah.
Yeah.
But if you get hooked, you'll have something to watch year round, because you can watch all the different Bachelor franchises. Speaking of that, Jordan, did you ever watch the music one, Bachelor, in Our Hearts?
Or Your Heart?
Yeah.
It was awful and cringeworthy, and I really didn't like it. But we were in the middle of the pandemic. It was some type of form of The Bachelor. So yes, I did watch it.
I watched it the tiniest bit, and I agree. It was very cringeworthy. I don't think I'm going to continue watching it.
I don't think that they're gonna have another season of it.
As somebody out of the loop, why was it cringeworthy?
So it was an entire singing show. It was a singing show.
But
so a bunch of singers. So I think it was maybe 10 guys and girls that were singers. And so they pretty much either you paired up or you got out.
Okay.
So they would eliminate people each week. They were, and it's I'm to the point where I don't need another singing show.
Yeah.
I think that idea is kind of, beaten like a dead horse. I don't think that we need another one. There were some really talented people on there, but then it also just kind of, the whole, are you there for the right reasons? I mean, you're there to promote your career. At the end of the day, it's a singing show. You're there to promote your career. There were some, I really liked Rudy. She was a good singer. But about the rest of them, nah.
I think they shouldn't you shouldn't be mixing, like you said, the are you there for the right reason. They're all there to promote their singing careers. So you can't really be mixing finding love with then the singing careers. That's just, don't do that.
I gotta give it to them. They gotta keep coming up with different stuff, because
as I feel like the Bachelor franchise is a cult in itself.
100%.
So I feel like once you're in it, it's hard. You're not gonna get out of it.
Yeah, I'm hooked now.
Yeah, I started a few years ago. I'm hooked. I'm not gonna stop. I have to watch.
I'm interested to see how they're doing an elderly version.
Stop! No, they're not. That's gonna be so good.
I don't know when, but I've heard it's in the mix, so that should be entertaining.
Oh, I'm
No.
so excited for that. Like these elderly people, I need that in my life.
Yeah, that'll be really cute.
Kids for these like 20 to 30-year-olds, I want these. Like that's
Right.
cute.
Their time is over.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited.
I'll keep you posted if I hear anything more about it.
Oh, good. I'll have to do some research. So
Yeah.
viewers, stay tuned for that.
John.
John's like, no.
I literally just yawned. Not intentionally. I'm so picky with. Wait, what?
I was gonna say you're probably like, maybe I should quit this podcast so I don't have to watch The Bachelor.
No. It's okay. I'll watch it. I am so picky with TV shows. Like
You
my
gotta
favorite.
look at it as a comedy.
Yeah.
Because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, the show is just fun.
Yeah.
I think it's just funny, and you can make fun of people, and they'll never know. I mean, don't. I'm very against posting about it on Instagram because okay, they're people too. Like they don't need to.
Yeah.
That's just harassment, and I mean, I understand that they sign up for it, but at the same time, they don't sign up for that.
Yeah.
So if you look at it as it's kind of funny, and you know, you laugh at them, they laugh at themselves. That's the best part of it for me.
I remember a few years ago, just because like at the height of its popularity, I was like, you know what, I gotta see what this is about, just because everybody's talking about it. I watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians for 5 minutes, and I felt myself losing brain cells, so I had to turn it off. I was just like, I'm good. I need to ever watch that again.
I
Watching it.
what?
And I'm picturing John watching.
Oh my god.
I had this face on the whole time. I was just like,
It's
they're
about
just talking about nothing. Like, oh my god, did you see her? Like, I can't watch stuff like that. Like just I
I am
need
slightly
substance.
ashamed to admit that I was like a big Keeping Up with the Kardashian fan. Like I remember last year, I think it was right after fall semester before I went home. I probably binge watched, and I probably lost brain cells from doing this, but I binge watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians for like 3 days straight, just like staring at the TV for 3 days.
Sometimes mindless television is just what you need. You don't want
Yeah.
to think about anything, and you definitely don't have to really think about much when you're watching that show.
No. But it's so bad. It's like so bad. It's good. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm old school. I like Law and Order, NCIS. Like I'm into all, like the cop and like mystery shows.
with Criminal Minds. Oh, I love
Criminal Minds. Yeah.
I could watch that.
My brother's a big fan of that. I just started watching that. That's a good one.
Do you guys watch the Chicago shows, like Chicago Med, Chicago PD, Chicago Fire?
No, I haven't watched any of them.
I started watching that with my parents over quarantine. Chicago Med, first of all, hot doctors, love that. And then you have the hot firemen. I don't really like the PD, but they're like really good. I recommend the Chicago Med, so good. But I think they're coming back with some new episodes. I liked that one.
I was kind of late to the party with this, but the most recent like TV series that like really got my attention was on Netflix. Was Stranger Things.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're really late to
Yeah.
it.
Well, I actually watched the last season last year when it led to like the day it came out. Like they released all the episodes, and I just binged watched it, and I really liked it. But I was kind of thrown off because I didn't watch the other part of the series. So there's a bunch of stuff I wasn't getting. So I watched those, and then I went back and watched the first 2 seasons. And now I'm like actually like waiting for the 4th season to come out. I'm like, oh my god, I need to see this.
Yeah, Stranger Things is a good one.
That was a good show. I actually really liked that a lot.
I feel like Stranger Things needed to kind of cap it though. Like I think they, the 3rd season was good, but they did leave some cliffhangers. But I don't know. I feel like the show's just kind of there's a time when you have a really good show and you want to be careful on keeping it going and knowing when it's time to stop it.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe after the 4th season, I hope they're just kind of like, all right, we've done everything that we can do with this. Don't want to ruin the hype and everything that it's got going on.
I feel like
they could have ended the series on that last episode, but they left that last 5 minutes of like a bunch of cliffhangers, and it's just like, oh well, there's obviously going to be a 4th season now. And they did release like a little teaser for the fourth season, and that was, I want to say, like, it was late last year or early this year, and just nothing's come of it. Like, I haven't heard anything about the development of it. I'm sure it really got held up with COVID, but
Probably.
yeah, but I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, they could have really ended the series if they didn't put in that last 5 minutes. It would have been kind of a sad ending, but could have ended it there.
That sounds
I
okay.
hope it's like it. I hope that if there is a fourth season, which there probably is going to be, I hope that it is like it's worth it that they made a fourth season.
Yeah, I hope that's the last one though, because I feel like you're just teetering on it being kind of
Yeah,
too.
like Grey's Anatomy is a perfect example of that. Like, why is that still on TV? That's been on for 15 years. There's like two original members left.
True, but I gotta say, this season of Grey's Anatomy, it's all been about COVID and
Okay.
what it's like on the inside of, being in the hospital, and
Cool.
it's really good. It's eye-opening, and they talk about, like they talk about everything between sex trafficking and racism and like the Black Lives Matter movement and how
Okay.
difficult it is for and like COVID started in Seattle and that's where the show is based. So although I agree, I am a Grey's Anatomy fan, so I agree some like maybe I think this might be the last season of it, but it's really, really a really good season. I mean, they talk about a lot of issues that have been going on in our world all at once, and she does it very respectfully and just the way that they are showing what's really going on with COVID
Yeah.
in hospitals is so eye-opening. I even if you don't know the background of each character's stories, I really suggest watching it just for that.
I followed the show up until, spoiler alert, that's not a spoiler alert because it was like 5 years ago. So if you haven't seen it, sorry you haven't seen it. But
Right.
I stopped following it after Gray's, I can't remember his name, Gray's husband.
Derek.
When Derek died, I stopped following it because I
Yeah.
was like, he was the only character I liked.
Yeah.
And he had the the worst TV death. It was like that was so aggravating.
Because his act because Patrick Dempsey wasn't that great of a person.
Yeah, he wanted. Did he get kicked off or did he just want out?
I think it might have been a mutual thing. I think maybe he wanted more money, and he was already getting paid way more than any of the other actors, like even more than
Yeah,
Ellen Pompeo, who's Gray.
yeah, yep,
So I think that might have been it. I'm not 100% sure though. I'd have to go back and
mhm,
look.
yep,
Yeah, but definitely you guys should check it out. Just for the sole fact of what they talk about with all this COVID stuff. It's crazy.
I might
I'll give
honestly,
it a chance.
yeah, I never watched Grey's Anatomy, like I wasn't in that. So
Mhm.
maybe I'll check this one out because that does seem very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, just solely, not even for everyone's background, like whatever their background, but I mean, one of their main doctors got sick and two of their main doctors caught COVID, and they were just showing about it was just insane. They had to open their cafeteria in order to just keep up with capacity. It was
Uh,
definitely watch it. I suggest it for that.
I'll have to watch it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm adding some homework for you guys.
So I think we want to end the show on what we always want to give some career advice and just talk about like career wise things because we're all college students in one way or another.
Mhm.
We're all on slightly different paths, but we're all in communications, and I think that this is a career path that's very oriented in resumes and portfolios and like really building up like your work to show potential employers. And with the holiday season that comes the issue of not being able to find work right now. If you don't have an internship or even like a beginning job, something like you're at like the bottom level of like maybe like a media company and you can work your way up to there. It's really hard for people to find that right now with the holidays going on because everybody's trying to. Jordan said this before the show started. Everybody's kind of like tying up loose ends at the end of the year, so that you're their last priority right now. They're
Right.
like, we'll wait until the new year to start looking at potential employees, people that we can hire.
Yeah, so I know that, if people are like us right now, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who are looking for jobs. And, I've had employers who have told me, hey, why don't we do this interview after all the holidays and after all the craziness? So, not even expecting to hear anything from them until about beginning mid-January. But I also have had employers who I've done interviews with this past week or the week before, and, they said, hey, we'll let you know about this where we're kind of going from here on this date. But I definitely wanted to talk to this with our listeners because right now it's just best to be patient and not to kind of push any decision or to reach out to them, because right now that's craziness with the holidays, because like John said, a lot of companies are just trying to tie up loose ends, and a lot of companies are closed from the 24th until about New Year's, so they're not, they're trying to make sure that all of their clients are taken care of and anything within the department is good. So if you did apply for a position and they told you they'd let you know right about now, I would just hold off and wait to get back to them till maybe even after the New Year's, just because it's really tough, especially with COVID and everyone's working from home. So sometimes some loose ends might be disconnected, but don't get discouraged if you have applied for a job and employer told you, hey, we're going to get back to you at this time, and they haven't yet because they're just concentrating on other stuff. You are still important to them, and I guarantee you they'll get back to you once the holiday ends. If not, definitely send up a little follow-up. Hey, hope you had a great holiday, just wanted to see where this process was and along, but don't take it personally and just be patient.
And I think also, especially in our industry, I know for like advertising, this is one of their busy seasons. So it's now until New Year, they're trying to get these campaigns together. So they're working day and night on those campaigns and on those clients. So that's another reason to remember, just like be patient, and they didn't forget about you. It's just right now they have top priorities, but once the new year happens, then you might start to hear back. So just be a little patient for now.
Mm-hmm. And another thing, I think that some companies don't know, if, especially with internships, some companies don't know what they're doing as far as their spring internships might go, and that's okay. Be patient on that too, because it's difficult first off for them to figure out how to get people to work from home and then to get internships to work from home, because it's hard to usually with an internship you want to teach them right there in person. But that's another thing too. If you've been talking to a company and they're not sure what they're doing with their internship yet, no problem. Don't put any pressure on it. Just reach out to them in the new year and say, hey, still interested in this opportunity. Has anything come of it since then? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and just remember, don't get discouraged from a lack of communication on their part, because it just think of it from their end, that they're trying to do a bunch of things before the year is over. Um, there's all the COVID restrictions going on right now, so everybody's kind of running around going crazy right now. And it's not just in communications; it's really any company just
Right.
trying to tie up the end of the year stuff, whether it's financial or they're trying to, we're all in communication. So if it's, trying to get content out before the end of the year, um, they're just preoccupied. And I am personally of the opinion, maybe start, reaching out to people like a little couple days after Christmas. If you can wait a little longer, wait until a few days after January.
Mhm.
Like really let the new year kind of have set in, and then start doing the communications. Maybe even with a little bit of a, like, hey, I wanted to wait until the holidays were over. Maybe something along the lines of that, to show
Right.
like, I just want to wait a little bit because I know everybody's busy right now. Still very interested in this position, or I'd be very interested in doing an interview, talking to somebody from your company. So I think waiting and having patience right now is very important. It's If I had to guess, it's probably the worst time of the year to try to apply for a job or an internship.
Yeah, and I mean, when people to the office, they're playing catch up. They're trying to get everything that they've had put on hold back up together and running. And I remember when I was in my full-time job, it took me a while to get fully caught up again. So even if, you do reach out back at the beginning of the year and they don't get back to you immediately, that's okay. Just keep in mind that they're trying to catch up and get everything, all the loose ties together. And I know, John, you wanted to talk about when might be a good time to start applying to stuff too right now.
Yeah, yeah, like I said, I think like after January, like maybe a couple days after January, man, I would say not January 1st, just because
Yeah.
Yeah,
people are off, or they're still maybe playing a little bit of catch up,
maybe
like a little bit.
wait till like that Monday, maybe the first
Mhm.
Monday.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
Are back in the office.
or
when you're
something.
pretty confident that things are opening back up, like kind of, feel out the room. you really want to like figure out like, okay, like people are back there. This person who I wanted to get in contact with is probably back at his office, so I'm going to reach out to him today. And also leave it at, like, hey, I know things are probably busy there. Something along the lines of this. Doesn't have to be verbatim what I'm saying. Don't do verbatim what I'm saying, but like something along the lines of like, hey, I know everybody's busy right now. I just wanted to say I'm still very interested in, an internship or a position if you want to set up an interview, or if we can talk, or something along the lines of that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think maybe of like the Monday after New Year's, like Allison said, I think that's a good time to start reaching out.
Yeah, spend the time getting your resume in order, your portfolio. You don't have to just be sitting on time just waiting for it, but just make sure you're all ready to go. And then when the new year comes around, I think it's January 4th, but that's Monday. Go hard then.
Go
Yep.
right in. You could send your emails and then watch The Bachelor.
Yes.
Great Monday.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yes. At The Bachelor, sponsor us.
That would be great.
They emailed or they tweeted at me once, so who knows? Maybe I can get that connection.
Keep that communication up. Is there any other like little things we want to talk about with that?
No, just everyone have a happy holidays, happy new year. We're super excited that we've been able to do this show. So thanks for everyone that's listening. We've got a lot coming up in the new year. I know we've got some people signed up to have on as guest speakers. So that'll be really exciting. Look forward to that. Yeah.
Fun. It's going to be a good year. Good year for our podcast. And
I
hope you guys stick around for the new year with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I should mention, I think it would be a good idea. We're talking about, experiences of trying to get internships and jobs right now. I think it would be a great idea for us to put up not so much a poll, but one of those answering things on on Instagram. What's been your experience trying to find internships right now?
Yeah. What is it like out there right now?
Yep. And we can share that. We can share your answers anonymously during our next show.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit of a follow-up to our discussion today.
Definitely.
Yep. All right, everybody. This has been the Hot Mess Podcast. I am your host, John Fay, with Alison Silbovsky and Jordan Ezel. We will catch you all in the next episode. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Everybody enjoy this as much as you can. And I hope you all have a good New Year.